Good morning, students, and welcome to another online biology classroom of St. Michael's Academy. So today, as usual, I am continuing Neural Control and Coordination chapter. Today, I am going to discuss mainly reflex action and reflex arc and different parts of it. So let's start. So first, we are discussing about generation and conduction of nerve impulse. Generation and conduction of nerve impulse. Before starting this discussion, you have to know what is nerve impulse. The generation of electrochemical wave of depolarization or action terminal due to the effect of threshold stimulus and the self-propagation of the wave along the neurolemma of the nerve fiber is known as nerve impulse. Now, what is generation and what is conduction of nerve impulse? Let's start. An electrical potential difference is hence established. This difference at the site through the plasma membrane is referred to as a nerve impulse or action potential. The previous membrane is repolarized as a result of the exit of the sodium ions from the cell. Hence, the conduction of impulses. This is the gist of this process. Now next, a nerve impulse is generated. This is the generation of nerve impulse. A nerve impulse is generated when the stimulus is strong. This stimulus triggers the electrical and chemical changes in the neuron. As mentioned already, there are different ions on either side of the cell membrane. The exterior side has sodium ions that are positively charged and are more in number. You first see this first diagram, action potential propagation in myelinated neurons. See, you can see I have given the GIF, so you can see this properly. Nerve impulse is moving like this. This is the pathway. Now the next one, conduction. Conduction of nerve impulse. A nerve impulse is the electric signals that pass along the dendrites to generate a nerve impulse or an action potential. Conduction of nerve impulse occurs due to the presence of active and electronic potentials along the conductors. Now see the action potential propagation process, internal structure or internal mechanism. See this, these are the dendrites that you know. Obviously here mechanism is going on. You see already it has been shown. This sensation is coming. This is rising phase first, next falling phase. Hyperpolarization, resting polarization, everything has been shown inside and outside. You see first inside negative, after some time it's becoming positive. Sodium ion moving, calcium ion also moving. K for calcium, Na for sodium. Now the next one. Here also same case, spike peak happening, the hyperpolarization, resting polarization, arrow also has been given. And there one graph has been given, threshold level, this is the peak condition, this is hyperpolarized condition, this is the resting phase, resting potential. Now what is reflex action? A reflex or reflex action is an involuntary and nearly instantaneous movement in response to a stimulus. A reflex is made possible by neutral pathways called reflex arcs, which can act on an impulse before that impulse reaches the brain. Here are some examples of reflex arc. Before describing this diagram, I am telling you something. I am giving you some examples actually. First one, when light falls on the eyes, the pupils constrict unconsciously so as to prevent entry of excessive amount of light. Next one, during walking, when a pin, pricks or some painful stimulus strikes the foot, there is sudden involuntary withdrawal of the limbs, that is foot, away from the source of painful stimulus. Number 3. When a sharp tap is given by a neurologist hammer to the patellar tendon, a brisk jerk, sudden forward movement of leg. Jerk means sudden forward movement of leg takes place. This is known as knee jerk reflex. Another example, you can say withdrawal of the hand when it inadvertently touches a hot object. Now please see the diagram, you will understand. First see this diagram. This knee jerk. See, this is a hammer. Suppose neurologist is testing your knees. So this is the hammer and here knee jerk is happening. But before knee jerk, actually what is happening, I am telling you. First, this hammer, by this hammer, here actually effectors. On the effectors, the hammer, see this by sensory nerves it's moving and by motor nerves it's coming back. And it is giving the response, so knee jerk happens. So this is the total pathway of reflex action. This is spinal cord of sensory nerves, this excitement is moving and through motor nerve the response is coming. These are the masses. Now next one, hot object and our hand. See here also same thing. This is the sensory and this is the motor neuron. So it's through sensory nerve it's going and through motor nerve it is coming and giving the responses, so that we are taking off our hand from hot object, here candle. So these are the two examples of reflex actions. Now, the classification of reflex action, conditioned and unconditioned reflex action. In classical conditioning, an unconditioned response is an unlearned response that occurs naturally in reaction to the unconditioned stimulus. 1. For example, if the smell of food is the unconditioned stimulus, the feeling of hunger is response to the smell of food is the unconditioned response. Now, conditioned reflex. It is also known as a conditioned response, is an acquired response in which the subject, that means which can be a human or other animal, learns to associate a previously unrelated neutral stimulus with a different stimulus that elicits some kind of reaction. So this is a Pavlov experiment where it has been shown that how an unconditioned response can be converted into conditioned response. You can see this dog. First, for meat, salivation occurs from its mouth. Next, there is a bell. Pavlov sets a bell over there. So at a certain time of a day, actually this bell rang, used to ring, so that actually his saliva also coming out. So here meat plus sound causes salivation. And the last, when no meat is there, then also salivation of dog occurs. So that means only by the stimulus is only the bell. So that means it has been converted from unconditioned to conditioned response. In the famous experiments that Ivan Pavlov conducted with his dogs, Pavlov found that objects or events could trigger a conditioned response. The experiments began with Pavlov demonstrating how the presence of a bowl of dog food, that is stimulus, would trigger an unconditioned response or salivation. Now, what is reflex arc? A reflex arc is a neutral pathway that controls a reflex in vertebrates. Most sensory neurons do not pass directly into the brain. but synapse in the spinal cord. Efferent nerve fibers carry motor nerve signals from the anterior horn to the muscles. So this is called reflex arc. So reflex arc means the pathway of reflex action. Reflex action is an incident and reflex arc the road or pathway you can say of reflex action. So the pathway can be described as a reflex arc which is made up of 5 components mainly. First one, a receptor. See this diagram. Follow the diagram. This is the receptor, that is muscle spindle. Second one, an afferent fiber, that is muscle spindle afferent. And afferent fiber. Next, an integration center. So an integration center, that is lamina 9 of spinal cord. Integration center here, spinal cord is here. And efferent fiber, that is alpha motor neuron. So this is afferent neuron or sensory neuron. That means afferent fiber, and that is efferent fiber or alpha motor neuron, through which response is passing. Actually, this excitement is going, and here it is converting into through the interneuron, it is converting into response, and that response is passing through efferent fiber. And the last one, an effector, that is muscle. So this is an effector. So this is the actual pathway of reflex arc. Now here is the structure of reflex arc. The reflex arc consists of 5 components. First one is sensory receptor. You see this diagram. This one is receptor, number 1, sensory receptor, skin here. Next, number 2, sensory neuron. This is sensory neuron, that means afferent neuron or sensory neuron. Next one, integration center. This is integration center. Interneuron is the integration center in the gray matter of spinal cord. Half of the H-shaped gray matter of spinal cord. Next, motor neuron. Integration means it has been integrated over there. That means converted into response. Motor neuron. This is the motor neuron, red color. And the last one is effector target. That means that muscle. So this is the actual structure of reflex arc. Now reflex arc has been divided into 2 parts. One is simple and another one is complex reflex arc. Simple reflex arc and complex reflex arc. First we are discussing about simple reflex arc. A simple reflex arc happens if we accidentally touch something hot. Receptor in the skin detects a stimulus, the change in the temperature. Sensory neuron sends electrical impulses to a relay neuron, which is located in the spinal cord of the CNS. That means simple reflex arc are the examples from our everyday life actually. That just now we have said that a knee jerk you can say is a simple reflex arc. This type of when we are touching a hot object, that also. I have given also one more example of simple reflex arc, that is stretching of muscle. You see here also same thing is happening. This is the sensory neuron, this is the motor neuron, this is spinal cord. So it's converting, this excitement is converting into responses and it's coming back. So this is the another example of simple reflex arc you can say. Now another one is complex reflex arc. In our body, interneurons are in the spinal cord. So when an interneuron participates in a reflex, there is more than one synapse. And these reflexes are then called complex reflexes. You see, I have given 2 examples here, muscle and gland stimulation, where perspiration actually occurs that how perspiration occur the neutral in a neuronal circuits in the interneuron structure. Everything has been shown. Ultimately it's coming to the muscle. It has been shown, and here also this is the two legs actually, when as at a time actually it's happening on two legs. So this is the pathway of complex reflex action. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com. We also welcome your responses by way of your views and feedback on the PPTs or videos at feedback.stmichaelsacademy@gmail.com. Thank you, students, and have a nice day.